Our last speaker of this PULSEmeet meeting is born in Serbia, in Serbia. But now he's living in Watford, in England. He is married with a wonderful wife, and together they gave to light one boy and one girl. His favorite hobby is eating. And you know, for him the combination of pizza and potato is heaven. We asked him if he prefers mountains or sea, and he said, I prefer ice cream. Family and a lot of food is his ideal vacation. He enjoys very much watching people doing sports, especially basketball. What makes him very angry is somebody eating his last pizza. He congratulates you leaders for getting the hardest job we have in church. He wants to thank you for your service because you are making the difference. His recommendation, stay close to God and to your young people. His motto, I'm working on it. He is a youth leader like you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dejan Stojkovic.
Yeah, I got used to on this, by the way. Nobody in England can pronounce my name, just to let you know. They call me all sorts of things. I stopped playing basketball because of this, you know that? It's like we're playing basketball and somebody's shouting, Dejan, Dejan, pass the ball. And I'm like, who is Dejan? And they're like, oh, it's me. Also the name progressed. They call me Dujan and other names. They have issue with the surname as well, by the way. Yeah. They call me Djokovic sometimes, just to let you know. I was in a church when somebody said, and we welcome Djokovic, and do you know what happened? Like my crazy mind went crazy. I'm like, Djokovic is here. And I was like happy for 3 seconds when I realized, oh, it's me, man. It is me. Well, hey guys, it is great to be back at PULSEmeet. This is my second time, my last time, just to let you know, because we are leaving European Union. Brexit is about to happen. So this is the only time this joke will work, by the way. We are planning to lock ourselves on a little island and stay there, just to let you know. So it is great to be back, guys. It is great to be back. Let me just make a statement for the beginning and say, if I said that we need love more now than ever before, would you agree with me? I think that very few people would disagree with this statement. But if you look around yourself, there are different generations, a little bit older people. You're welcome here as well. It's all right. I can tell you, my friends, that even they said the same statement and they felt that the love is something they really need even in their generation when they're our generation. My friends, I was thinking about this and I was thinking how we are willing to do crazy things to show our love. I can remember this. I really tried to get married and and this beautiful girl showed up. She came to England from my country. She was actually somebody who escaped the war and came to England, and she decided to be au pair. Do you know what an au pair is? Oh, good. The au pairs take care of babies. And I thank God that she came, because when I heard she's au pair, I signed up as well. I said, I need to be taken care of as well. And we spent some good time, and after some time, I thought to myself, it is time to ask this girl to marry me. And I remember this. I called her mother, not her dad, because in Serbia, despite you think men make decisions, it's moms who make decisions. I said, hey, would I be able to marry your daughter? She's like, yeah, absolutely, Dad, no problem at all, no problem at all. So as we were once joking, she said, are you going to propose to me? And I said, yeah, I will. She says, when are you going to propose to me? And guess what? I'm that crazy that I planned everything. So I said to her, I will propose to you on the 24th of September. And she looked at me, she's like, are you serious? I was like, ooh. You'll find out. Of course, the life continued. She never thought about it. 24th September came. That was a Sabbath, by the way. I checked my calendar. I realized that between the picnic of the church and the social for the teenagers, I have a good window to propose. That's right. That's like pancakes for teenagers have to happen. Picnic for church has to happen. And I'm feeling I need to get married. So that was the only time. So do you know what I did? This is what I did. I went to the shop and I bought the best ice cream. Maybe Italians will disagree with this, but okay. Maybe the best for me, okay? I went and bought 3 tubs of Haagen-Dazs salt caramel ice cream. You know that one? You do? Actually, yeah. You get cholesterol and die, just to let you know. Okay. So I bought 3 of them. I had this amazing idea. You see, my wife survived the war, and it was really bad. And so during her young years, she loved ice cream, but because of the war, there was not enough ice cream, and they had to run. And so I thought to myself, you know, she loves ice cream so much that if I try to implement the ring and the ice cream, there is a much higher chance that I will get married. What a genius, huh? Oh, absolutely. And so what I did is I went to a shop, bought 3 of them in case I mess up one of these 3. I do apologize to translators. I forgot that you need to translate all of this. And so what I did is I took it and dropped it in the hot water, melted it around. I took this, I peeled off the plastic, turned around, pulled the paper covering, and I dug the hole inside there. And I took a small plastic box. I put the ring in the box, put back this, return back, put ice cream, seal the plastic, close it, and put it in a freezer. I did such a good job that I thought I should work for Haagen-Dazs. I was like, I need to go to Haagen-Dazs now. And so the plan was perfect. I put it there. I hide all other ice cream behind the meat. My wife is vegetarian. I was like, she will never touch the meat. Good. And so I put all the ice cream behind. I put the 1 tub in front. And I was like, let me make sure that, she doesn't at all, doubt that something will happen. We went for the church picnic. I was like, good. Now it's my time to get married. That's right. That's right. So I sat in the car. I said to my wife, no, now my wife, not Dan. It was very questionable at that stage. And I said, hey, go get ice cream. And let's go for the picnic. So she ran upstairs, and I was sitting in the car for a long time, and she was not coming back. I'm like, that's not good. I'm staying single, it seems to me. Okay, so what I did is I ran upstairs to see what's happening. When I came to the kitchen, I saw there was a plastic bag with the ice cream inside, with the 2 spoons, and when I looked at the ice cream, it was Chunky Monkey, not the Haagen-Dazs salt caramel. I went to the freezer, I opened the freezer, and I realized that all ice creams are there together, socializing. Later on, my wife told me, she said, I went there, I took all the ice creams out, I checked the expiry dates on the boxes, and that Chunky Monkey would expire before the Haagen-Dazs salt caramel. So what a woman. It's like I almost had a heart attack, but what a woman. She chose the one which will expire first. Now I have an issue. Which one has a ring? I'm like, there are 3 same tastes. Which one has a ring? So what I did is I put one on a scale, quickly to measure it. I put another one, and they were all 3 the same weight. I was like, I done such a good job. They're the same weight. So now I'm thinking, what to do now? And I'm thinking, well, let me read barcodes. Maybe something will trigger. So I started reading barcodes, like 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 1. And I'm like, oh, what stupid thing I'm doing? Like you go to Aldi and then go home and read barcodes. And I was like, okay, well, it's time to go. So I took one, put it in a box, and now we're going to a small town called St. Albans in a park, and I'm thinking, I don't even know I'm going to get married. It is really the question of that box inside. So we came there, we made a little picnic there together, and I said to her, let's eat ice cream. And she looked at me, and she said, but it's cold. I was like, what did you say? She said, it's cold. I was like, Since when ice cream has to do anything with the weather? It's like you eat ice cream all the time. But of course, you couldn't be pushy because she will doubt, she will think something's happening. So after a few moments, maybe half an hour, I said, hey, what about ice cream? And she's like, let's eat ice cream. I'm like, good. Let's eat ice cream. So I said, let me feed you. That was not good, by the way. I opened this, I took it off. There was a plastic. I'm like, is it this one? I peeled it off. I took a spoon and I did, and I took this massive chunk. I said, it's for you. And I put ice cream in her mouth. And she said, it's really cold. I said, but you love this ice cream, don't you? Yeah, I love it. So took another one. Are you ready? And she said, oh, no, I'm not ready yet. And I was like, I need to know, is there a ring? And so I was like, let's go quick. And then I hit the box. And that was the moment I'm like, oh, I'm getting married. So I was like, you eat now. And so she now eats a small, as girls eat. I'm like, hurry up. And she hits it and she said, there is something in my ice cream. And I'm like, really? And she said to me, it must be a surprise. I said, oh, maybe. So because I did not know is she going to say yes or no. So it was a surprise for sure. And so she read the box quickly because she reads so fast. It's unbelievable. I only read books with pictures. And she read it quickly. And she says it doesn't say anything on the box. And then she pulled the box out. And she opened, there was ring. And I proposed. And she said yes. That's right. That's right. The point of the story is what not to do, just to let you know. You should not do this, guys, okay? But we are willing to do crazy things to show love to one another. Crazy things to show love to one another. And I can tell you, my friends, as I prepared this, I was thinking about love altogether. There was a story where it says that the rabbi was walking on a street. As he was walking on the street, he saw a young man eating a fish. He said, young man, what are you doing? He said, I'm eating a fish. He says, why are you eating a fish? He says, because I love fish. The rabbi looked at him and he said, you love fish? He says, that's right, I love fish. He said, is that the reason why you took the fish out of water, killed it, boiled it, and now you're eating it? Young man didn't say anything. Then the rabbi said this. He said, you don't love fish. You love yourself. And that's the reason why you took the fish out of water, killed it, boiled it, and now you're eating. Rabbi continued to teach us the lesson of love, and he simply said this, that the world is full of fish love. He said the young people, and I'm sure this is not happening here. They said the young people sometimes go into marriages and go into these relationships in needs to fulfill their needs, maybe spiritual, maybe physical, maybe financial, maybe emotional needs. And the rabbi said that he thinks that the world is full of fish love. My friends, there is this text I would like to share with you. You probably know it. It is John 15 to 17. And I will read it to you. It simply says, I do not call you a servant any longer. Do you know that text? And then he simply goes on and he says, because servants don't know what the master is doing. But he said, I will tell you, and I tell you everything that my Father tells me. And the text, how he finishes, he simply says, you did not choose me, I chose you. I did not, I always thought I chose God, but no, God chose me. And then he said this, and this is a new commandment. And he said, love one another. When I came to this text, I was thinking how relevant this is for your division, for your union, for your conference, for your local church. And I realized as I traveled my country, I realized that this is the message that I feel is very necessary. Because I preach the law and the commandments and the fundamental beliefs, but then I realize what is the point of that if we miss one of the main foundations, and that is to love one another. You see, Jesus spent 3 years with his disciples. It is very interesting as he spent the 3 years with his disciples, is he told them, he gave him everything he has. And watch this. The last lesson Jesus teaches his disciples before he leaves is love. If we didn't know that God was Jesus and Jesus was God, we would say, this guy got it right. Jesus knew that as he leaves the church he and his disciples built, the first thing that will disappear is going to be love. Now you're telling me, depending where you stand, well, Pastor, not another message on love. But I tell you, my friends, that God can open the gates of the Holy Spirit. We can go outside and reach the world, and if they come to the community where I live and work, I'm not sure they would stay. Because of the simple reason, and that is because we sometimes are just full of the fish love and not the love of Jesus Christ. There is this guy called Eduardo Guando who simply once described it. He said, we live in a world in which a wedding is more important than a marriage and love. He said, the funeral is more important than the person that we are burying. He simply said that we live in a world where clothes mean more than what you have in your hand. He said, we live in a world of packaging where we despise the content. Jesus, as he was leaving the planet, he realized that if his disciples don't get it, we are in a big trouble. And the last lesson he's teaching, he's like, please hear this, love one another. Now, let me tell you a story and then I will help you save some money. Is that right? You see, there is a small phenomenon happening in England. I'm sure Germans as well, because I think they're in some ways very similar, but in other ways extremely different. I don't want to mention details. But in January, what happens is this. Everybody's trying to get a gym membership. Is that happening in Germany? Is that right? In January, everybody is trying to get a gym membership, to go and lift weights and stuff like this. How many of you here have a gym membership? I just want to see hands. Excellent. Excellent. Let me just ask you guys, it's a very important question. Are you the gym believers or you are the gym, active people which go to gym? Who goes to gym? That's a little bit less than people who put their hands up. Okay. So in January in England, it goes crazy. Everybody goes online, they register for the gym because they want to have the bodies for the summer. They want to lose weight. They want to look good. But what happens is this. Is very soon as the gym membership starts, they don't go to gym. You see, what they do, they're gym believers. They believe in gym. They're like, as long as I pay the membership to the gym, it's going to be all right. In some very strange way, I will lose weight and I will look good. That's right. They're the gym believers. And then what happens is they pay membership for 3, 4, 5 months. They're the biggest supporters of gyms, by the way, because they pay the membership and they never go there. They believe that if they do this, everything is going to be all right. But you know, as I know, that they can believe as much as you want, but you're going to stay exactly the way as you paid the gym membership. My friends, if I want to, let me now tell you how you can save the money. You see, you don't go to gym membership, you don't register there, but you can go and buy the weights or the machine. And the best way to exercise would be if actually you go on eBay or some website which sells second-hand machines. Do you know why this is the best way to save the money? Because the machine costs thousands of euros, sometimes even thousands of pounds. But if you go online and search for pre-loved exercise machines, you will have tons of machines there. And they're going to have a description which say this, used lightly. Do you know what it means? That means he bought the machine and never used it. That's right. That's right. He bought a machine, never used it. He put it in a living room so that every single time he watches TV, he sees the machine, but still he never used it. So when you go to pick up the machine is brand new. All it has is a dust and fingerprints of children if they have children. That's right. Because children play with it, thank God, some use for it. Because the machine was never used. You see, my friends, you and me can be believers in the machine, fitness, and all these things, but if we don't get active in this story, if we are just the believers in this thing, we will never change and never reach the goal we need to reach. You see, in Acts, it is very clearly defined what is the difference between the believer and the Christian. It simply says that the believers believe and Christians live. Christians do. Jesus, when he was teaching his disciples the very three powerful lessons, he simply said, my friends, you need to not just believe in the love and have the fish love, but have the love which comes from me. And now the lessons are coming very quickly. I'm going to finish this quickly so we can go home. Jesus teaches three lessons, and that is Jesus is the source of love. You see, my friends, it's very easy to love, and there is no problems to love. I can love everybody, anybody, as long as we don't play Monopoly or Risk. Or we sit in the same committee, but you don't go against me. I can love you until that point. After that, Jesus loves you. That's right. It is very easy to love, and there is no problems to love. And Jesus is saying this, my friend, that the love is necessary for us because he saw the church, and he saw we have no problem in building the church. Look at around yourself. This room has every gift, every person necessary to build a church. The problem that Jesus saw is that we have issue and problem in building the church together. And Jesus said this. Jesus said this. It is easy to love and there is no problem, but there will be a moment that you will need to love, and the only source of the true love and not the fish love, it is me. I'm going to cut the story out just for the time, but I can tell you this for sure. There were moments in the history when humanity needed to forgive one another after the wars, after the genocides, after things like this. And the people had to face those who killed their loved ones. And the stories usually that I found out is this, that they had no strength to forgive until they asked for God, the real source of love, to give them the God's love to forgive, where God restored them in their lives. First lesson is that Jesus is the source of the love. Second lesson is that Jesus that we sometimes need to choose to love. My friends, it's a very easy to choose to love, as I said, those who love us. But what about that elder, which is really hard to love? What about that deacon which always tells you you did not put the chairs back where they were supposed to be? What about that family member which is telling you that because of you, the young person is not with Jesus anymore, and you know you've done everything you could? What about that young person which comes to the small group and simply is making troubles for you? How hard or how easy is to love? And Jesus said, well, let me just tell you guys, the love is not just emotion, but it's a choice in love as well. What Jesus simply said is this, my friends, you need to love, because the true love is the one which loves despite how we sometimes feel. Sometimes we just need to choose to love. I don't know about you guys, but if you're not married, you need to know this, that when you get married, there'll be moments you will need to choose to love. Oh, I wish I can say I need to choose to love my wife, but that's not the case. She sometimes has to choose to love me. Oh yeah, you need to see. Sometimes not very easy to love. And Jesus says, my friends, choose to love with the real love, not with the fish love. And the last lesson he's trying to say is Jesus simply said this. He says, listen, love until it hurts. Mother Teresa once said, she said simply these words. She said, I found a paradox. She says, if you love until it hurts, very soon there'll be no hurt, only love. I was thinking, that's easy said. I know people who went through abuse, or other people who went through a very hard time. But Jesus lived this. Jesus lived to the very end, because only a few verses down the line, Jesus dies on the cross. He lays his life for all of us so that he can show what the true love is for us. You know, let me finish this. I was at a youth event, and we had a beautiful time. I brought our leaders from the British Union Conference, and we spent time in prayer, we worshipped, we planned, and we were so excited. In that very moment, part of my young people managed to meet with some of the elders, the retired pastors, and somehow they caught up in these chain prayers, and I was, as usual, very hungry, so I went to eat first. I sat around the table, and then suddenly this pastor comes to me, and he says, Dan, I just heard the most radical prayer ever. I'm thinking, dude, I was born in a church. second row, I heard every single prayer. My dad was a pastor. I heard every single possible prayer. Like, what can be so different about this prayer when it's so important to you? And he said this to me. He says, we were standing in a circle as we prayed. He said, one pray for the world peace, one pray for the mission in the British Union, and then I pray for something which I don't remember. And then he said, and then this guy next to me, the retired pastor, prayed this prayer, which I will never forget. And very likely you too. He prayed this prayer. He said this, dear God, help us to be what we are pretending to be. You never know how that prayer turned everything around. Nobody ate. Because anybody who had a little bit of understanding and looked in their soul realized the one thing. Then in some way, probably all of us, maybe not. For those who are not, apologize sometimes to pretend to be what we want people to see. And that happens when our life is full of fish love and not the love of Jesus Christ. I remember we couldn't eat, so we started talking and started confessing to each other that this prayer is probably the most capsulating prayer of our Christian experience in life. I realized that truly I found myself in a prayer. I said, dear God, forgive me because I pretend sometimes to be something and somebody that I'm not. When he prayed that prayer, I realized that that will be my prayer for the rest. When I wake up in the morning, I say, dear God, help me to be what I'm pretending to be because I truly want to be that. And I know it is wrong, but dear God, but you know that I really want to be this God. And God said, we can do this together. My mother is a pastor's wife, and she is a very direct-spoken woman. I don't know how to say it the best way. She would tell you the truths in the face that hurt very quickly. Like sometimes I'm like, you just wonder. It's like, I remember I was on a Skype conversation with my brother, and my mom and my brother were in Serbia, and I was in England, and I was holding the iPad, and we were talking, and the conversation stopped, and my mom looked in the camera and she said, "You're fat." And I'm like, Mom. And she said, no, you're definitely fat. My brother heard this. He's like, Mom, don't tell him like that. It really hurts. Mom is like, no, he's fat. I was working in my office very hard because I always try to change my little corner. And I remember I was working so hard in my office when my mom called me on the Facebook Messenger. That's how dangerous moms are. They're moving from Skype to Facebook Messenger. And I was sitting in my office and it rang. I picked up, and Mom said, "My son, I have a message. I have a quote for you." I said, "Oh, that's beautiful. You're joining the spam of Facebook and you're spreading it all around. Okay, tell me." Then she said, "Are you ready?" Oh, when she said, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Oh, this can be tough." She said to me, "My son, if you want to change the world," she said, "go home and love your family." And I'm like, what did you say? And she said, "Go home and love your family." Well, as a good son, I packed up my laptop, went to the car, and as I started driving, I realized my mom was right. Because if I love my family, they will love others with the God's love. And if I then love others, somehow we will have this among us. And when we reach people for Jesus, they will see the true us. They will see the love of Jesus Christ and not the fish love. And my mom was 100% right. So as the PULSEmeet is finishing today, I have a very simple message for all of you. I want to ask you to go back to your homes and love your families if you want to change the world for Jesus. I want you to ask you to go back to those local churches that you serve so faithfully and love them with a true love, not with a fish love. I want to ask you to go and love that elder, which is very hard to love. I know that. I want you to ask to put this notch up for the love and say, "Don't worry, brother, I will do that, don't worry." I want you to go back to your young people who are sometimes so hard to love and love them with a true love, for that is the only way we can change this world for Jesus Christ. I want you to go back to the deacons who just so hard on us so often, and they don't even understand what we're doing, and just put another notch up and love them even more with the true love and not with the fish love. My friends, I want you to be love of Jesus, a love that is true love and not a fish love. Amen.